Hello there. I want to talk about something that can sometimes be, a lot of times probably to new owners, be really confusing when you hear it from people that have been honing a while. And that is, they'll say things like understanding the importance of getting the proper torque on the edge of a straight when you hone. And it sounds like what they're saying is you're going, ah! You're physically torquing, putting intentional pressure and torque on the shank to push that edge a little bit more into the honing. It's kind of like that, but not. If you, like this razor, for instance, that's a hologram blade, okay? And this one isn't as hologram as some others that I have seen. I have seen hologram razors that you could push on the edge of on the side of the edge there, and it would move like tinfoil flapping in the breeze. That's a really, really fine. I've only seen them, and to be honest, because most of the razors I have are vintage, but I've only seen them on the old vintage razors where there's a gentleman that was a master grinder that ground that blade that thin. But even a blade even a wedge will flex a little bit, whether or not you understand that or not. But a really thin grind like that, it'll flex. So you're not trying to torque so much that you're causing flex in the blade. And one of the ways, this is how I understand it. Let me move down a bit. I'm not going to actually physically touch the blade to the stone, but when you pass a razor over a stone, the way that I get what I believe is the proper torque on the edge is I'm not physically putting any conscious torque on the blade, but when I set that blade on the stone, I imagine, first of all, my mind is focused on that edge, and in my mind's eye, what I'm doing is actually imagining that blade taking a very, very thin slice off of the hone. You're just imagining it. You're not trying to do it. It's just you're imagining that. That conscious thought, all by itself, is all it takes for me to subconsciously favor that leading edge just enough to put the proper torque toward that edge. One of the other things that I do when I hone is I imagine when I usually hone in a heel forward stroke, but it doesn't matter. It could be this way, heck, it could be that way. Doesn't matter. If it was that way, it would be reverse what I'm fixing to say, but I imagine not only taking a slice off of the top of the stone, but at the same time, I imagine doing that in a slicing motion from heel to toe, so that as I pull that razor across the hone, I'm imagining slicing that stone, starting at the heel and slicing through to the tip. And to me, that gives me the perfect amount of torque. I don't have to consciously try to figure it out. I'm just using my imagination to focus my thought and focus my attention on that edge and how it's passing across the stone. And when you're talking about something like honing, focus is one of the most important things. Focusing on what's happening between the blade, that edge of that blade, and the stone is, in my opinion, the central technique in honing a razor or a knife or anything else. And that's something that I think might help you to understand torque when it comes to honing a straight razor. So I hope that that's helped you. God bless you, and I'll talk to you later.